we weren't able to goddamn record last week. We didn't get to do our full analysis reaction of Bad Blood, which
pretty.
Yeah, and I'm bummed because there was like, I'm bummed, but I'm also not because I'm happy that we got some time to really marinate. Like everyone's reactions that I saw online was obviously just like the instant
raw,
like heat of the moment. And we've been able to take a step back and digest it. And so there's just a few, like we don't gotta go through it because the people, they're smart. They've heard about shit by now. But there's some big points that I feel like we gotta talk about here because there's some real interesting shit that came from this. One of the things that I thought was the most interesting conversations that people were debating about was the controversy surrounding the booking of Order, the opening match. A lot of people felt like should have been the main event, and the main event be the opener. A lot of people felt like that was backwards.
I can agree with that 100%.
Really?
Yeah, I told you that.
So break it down for me. Well, why?
Just look at the intensity of both matches. Yes, I get it. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Fucking Roman Reigns doesn't really fucking wrestle with this and that, whatever. But as you see, now he's on SmackDown again or whatever. I guess he's going to start coming out every weekly now or whatever on SmackDown. That's what I'm...
But will he be wrestling?
Most likely, probably.
Not on SmackDown. Not like on a... Maybe 2 more times this year, we'll see Roman on SmackDown wrestling in a match. 2 more times in 2024.
Like, I understand from, like, a money perspective, he's a money fucking pulling fucking guy. He's literally the biggest face of the fucking company, basically.
Well, then there's also Cody Rhodes, who, if it's not Roman, it's Cody. Like, those are the 2 top dogs of WWE right now.
I understand. That's like from the money side. Like, oh, they're the fucking main event. They're the fucking attention grabber.
That's your Macho Man and Hogan. That's your Rock and Stone Cold. You know, like, whatever great era of WWE you want to look at where there was, like, pillars.
Triple H versus John Cena, top of shit.
Those are your guys right now. So you're telling me you're going to put your guys in the opening?
But it's a tag team match, though. It's not them against each other. Or nothing
that almost makes it even more that it has to main event in some ways, because when are we ever going to see Cody Rhodes doing a fucking hot tag to Roman Reigns ever again?
They literally did John Cena and Randy on Raw, bro, against the whole Raw roster.
Yeah, but that was a totally different thing. Like, that was to just put Randy and John completely over and squash the rest of the Raw roster. Like, that was a totally different thing. This is with a storyline. This is in the middle of, not in the middle of, but like coming off of their huge feud and back-to-back Mania main events. Like, this is at the like height of Cody versus Roman.
Do you think this is like the big story? Basically, this is the main storyline of WWE right now, basically, is what you're saying?
I feel like, yeah, and especially the fact that you had Jimmy return and then The Rock return. Like, this is clearly the match that got the ball rolling for the storylines that will eventually become the main event of WrestleMania next year. Like, the fact that we're going to look back at this match as the starting point of kind of the story that leads us to all these insane matches we're going to have, I feel like you gotta have that main event.
I feel you. Okay.
Like, so to me, the Rock factor is the kicker. Like, if you're gonna bring out the Rock, even if it is just for a few seconds, which I know that's one thing I saw a lot of people upset about, is that he came out and didn't do shit, and then Punk and Drew did all that and didn't get to main event, and the Rock just got to come out and fucking count to 3 and slit his fucking throat and walk away. So I can get, like, where people are coming from, but then, to me, that's missing all the context around it. Like,
I'm sorry, but that's just still hilarious. Still holding that championship, I'm sorry.
But that shit's funny. But my point is that the reason why he's allowed to get away with shit like that is because we have seen The Rock for so many years do amazing things on the microphone, in the ring. Like, we know what The Rock is, what he means to pro wrestling at this moment in time. His legacy is so established that just him coming out for a few seconds is that important. So yeah, you could look at it and say, oh, this dude came out and didn't do anything, but it's that guy doing nothing. So it's still everything. It just is what it is. And I don't think that you can even argue and say that, like, oh, but you can't say that just because it's The Rock. But, like, it is The Rock, though. Like, it's not like some hypothetical argument. Like, you're either going to bring The Rock out or you're not. And so if you're going to bring out The Rock, he's coming out in the main event. It's the last thing that's going to happen. And there's no... Like, that's not even controversial. To me, that was the funniest thing, is that people were so, like, up in arms and upset about this. It's like, bro, I don't think you understand the business. I think some people might be a little too, like, holistic with the way they look at wrestling. Like, it's too traditional. Well, that's the Hell in the Cell match, and it's bad blood. Like, doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Like, but historically speaking... I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because The Rock...
the final boss.
I'm sorry. That's all there is to it. Like... And then obviously there's all the other factors of it being Roman and Cody. And like... We're not talking about... Solo and Jacob too. But like, those are guys that we're building up right now. Like, as much as the fans are rejecting it and they're hating on Solo and shit like that. Like... Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu are going to be main event players for the next however many years they want to be in pro wrestling. Yeah. Like, that's the future of this shit. And so as much as we want to make fun of it now, I feel like we're going to be looking at it the same way that we were looking at how people treated Roman in, like, 2015 to, like, 2018, 2019. Like, how people used to hate on Roman and didn't want Roman to be the top guy. And then eventually it just clicked and it worked. I feel like the same shit will eventually happen with Solo.
I love you, Solo.
Because he's got all the talent. It needs to click with the audience.
My tribal chief.
So yeah, I say all that to say that this whole controversy was stupid, in my opinion. Like, y'all just need to understand that The Rock is The Rock, Roman is Roman, Cody is Cody, and they're trying to make Solo and Jacob on to a similar level as well. And so when you got all those factors at play, that's all there is to it, man. And let's be real, the bloodline takes precedent. It's the big, like you said, it's the biggest story in the company. So yeah, it's gonna main event. Was the Hell in a Cell match a way better match just from a individual match perspective? Fuck yeah. Like, that's one of the next things that I want to get into, is that Punk and Drew, like, actually finally delivered for me. Because I've been pretty open that the first two matches I wasn't the biggest fan of. I felt like they kind of underdelivered. And not that they were terrible matches, but...
or whatever, leather strap.
That was, yeah, the Four Corners match. That's what I call it. It was underwhelming because the feud itself was so, like... It felt like they hated each other. And the matches didn't bring that same intensity until this one. This was the match that, like... It honestly, like, I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but... One of the best matches I think I've ever seen in some ways. Like, it was really, really, really that good.
Old school fucking...
It was really that good.
Bruh.
It was Punk at his best. It was Drew at his best. Those guys absolutely put their bodies on the line.
Everything out there, bro.
It was amazing, and it was all justified with the feud. It was
talking about this match. I just remember seeing the Instagram post of Drew McIntyre with his fucking head split open and shit.
Bro. It was so much blood that I remember thinking, like, is this gimmicked somehow? Did he have, like, a fake blood packet or something? Like, bro, dude, it was truly, truly brutal. But it needed to be. It needed to be because of the feud. Like, this was about family and respect and, like, very personal, like, moral principles for both of these dudes. That,
they
like,
went out, bro. Fuck.
They had to. That, to me, is, like, that's pro wrestling.
Punk's ass could barely walk out the ring and shit.
It was a perfect representation of pro wrestling. Exactly. This fool's fucking literally needing oxygen just to get back to the locker room. Like... And it's not that I'm advocating for people to go out there and hurt themselves, but at its peak, pro wrestling is kind of a physical sacrifice. These people put their bodies on the line to entertain us, and they really justified it. Like, it's not like it's some dudes in a backyard that are just smashing each other over the head with the fucking light tubes, like those videos that you see on Instagram and shit. Like, these fools actually spent months and months and months
preparing this shit,
building the tension and bubbling it from, like, just them kind of petty toying with each other, professionally, like, fucking with each other, and then it escalated to this deeply personal hatred for one another that, like, needed a match like this to, like, give these dudes their emotional blow off that they need. It was sensational. It was so good. I could rant about it all night. I'm sure you could too. Like, it was a top tier match. Top tier wrestling. And it sucks for
the following cards,
the people who came afterwards, because there were some other feuds that were really exciting and didn't deliver. And I'm looking at my boys Finn Balor and Damian Priest here. I was deeply disappointed, man. Deeply disappointed. Because the Judgment Day storyline is kind of another one of those bloodline level storylines to me, where if you really look at it from the very beginning, going all the way back with fucking Edge and shit, and getting all the way to where we are now, there's a lot that's taken place, and especially between guys like Finn and Damian, who, like, really found, like, in storyline, but, like, a real, and it seems like they were close as well, like, off screen, but, like, a real brotherhood in the Judgment Day, and that they were, like, two of, like, the kind of two that were really close and there for each other and shit. And so, like, as those seeds of, like, falling out were being planted over, and because that whole thing took a long time to play out, there was, like, little arguments and little things that were happening, and then they finally have that big Judgment Day fallout at SummerSlam, and I was, like, instantly so ready for that feud, because I'm a big fan of Damian, big fan of Finn, and I felt like that was supposed to be another Punk versus Drew level blood feud, where, like, they're brothers turned rivals. Like, this should be such a heated rivalry. And, bro, that match was just a fucking, compared to the rivalry and what it should have delivered, it was really, 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 really average. Like, I've seen a lot of people saying that it felt like a main event of Monday Night Raw, and, like, yeah, like, it really did. Like, I don't know whose coffee Finn Balor pissed in, but this fool literally hit this fool Damian Priest with, I believe it was 3 coup de grace at the end, towards the end of the match, and this fool Damian Priest gets up and, like, fucks up the whole Judgment Day, and then hits fucking
quick recovery, bro.
Exactly, bro, and then fucking just hits Finn with one quick little South of Heaven, and we out. He's 1, 2, 3, we out. I can't believe that. I can't believe that finish. I can't believe that it was literally just a typical Judgment Day interference thing. He didn't even, like, have a fucking quick little yeet pop, like Jay coming out to help him or nothing. Like, a lot of people were expecting that in the crowd. We heard the chants and everything, and no, he just literally hulked up and just fucked everyone up by himself, and that was it. Man, disappointed. I don't even know if that begins to explain, like, how much I felt let down there, man. That was bad. Just from what I was expecting, because we know that they can both deliver such classics. That's kind of the thing that kills me. Is, like,
they didn't have the time, though, probably.
But even, see, the match was long enough. Like, if it's booked like differently,
15, 10 minutes.
Yeah, bro, and if you use that time properly, you can make a much better match. If you're not wasting time on fucking Carlito and JD McDonough and like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Disappointing ass match. Another interesting topic from this event was something that happened after the event, but still kept the buzz going, was the Kevin Owens heel turn. That happened off air in the parking lot and got caught on camera by some fans and shit.
Bro pulled up to his buzz, bro.
I was very torn on this when it first happened. I was partially feeling like it was a really cool, like, different way to do a heel turn, and, like, an interesting way to experiment with new styles of storytelling and wrestling and stuff like that. trying to make something feel more authentic. But it also sucked because the build had been so like obvious in our faces that like KO's about to turn heel. And fucking we missed it. Like we didn't get to pop for that shit. Like it kind of just got DM'd around. Like it ended up on my fucking feed somehow, and it's like, well, this is cool in a way because like this word of mouth shit and everything like that's interesting. I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50. And I think that's still where I'm landing. Like, as much as I think it's really cool.
Interesting, yeah. You don't like the online fucking interaction shit.
It's not even that I don't like it. It's just for a moment that was so heavily teased and that, like, I was excited for. I just feel like we got to kind of miss out on reacting to it as a WWE universe altogether. Which is like, that's the fun part, is like when we're all watching at the same time and something crazy happens and yeah, the whole crowd reacts and we're all on Twitter looking at shit and we're texting each other like, oh my god, bro, you see this shit, what the fuck? Like having like that whole moment of live wrestling is fun. And so I feel like we kind of missed it. But then like I said, I'm torn because I do get why they did it and it is different and it's interesting. And like I don't know if you saw, but KO actually posted earlier today like a whole video on his Twitter kind of explain like kind of blackmailing the company, saying that he's gonna release a video kind of explaining his whole side of things if they don't let him speak on the SmackDown this week. So like I do like that they're continuing to use social media to develop it. I guess I feel like this might have been something that would have been used better, and maybe I'm just bitching, but for like a swerve kind of a storyline where it's like something you don't really see coming and then it just happens out of nowhere, and that going viral, to me, that might have been a little bit more like, what the fuck? Like, is this even real? Like, did it? Because then it really is like almost like, is this a work or not? Like, did these fools actually just fight in the parking lot? Because it's like, this wasn't even a storyline being built up, and then it's just two random fools
get down and
fading. Like, is this actually real? Like, to me, if it was something just out of nowhere where it's like fucking, I don't even know. I'm just trying to think of two random ass fools right now. Fucking Sheamus and Shinsuke Nakamura just like piecing each other up in the parking lot, and it's like, wait, what? Like, these fools aren't even on TV right now. What's happening? Like, is this a real, like, are they actually fucking mad at each other? Or
like Jay and Shinsuke or some shit like that.
Just, yeah, I'm just throwing out, like, random-ass names of just, like, whoa, like, why the fuck are they fighting with you? Like, to me, that would have been interesting to throw that out on socials, like, from, like, fans recording it or something. Like, have that happen in, like, a kind of semi-public area. And, like, I don't know, yeah, just to maybe make it feel a little... Because the thing is when we saw the Kevin Owens thing, as much as it was a cool way of doing the heel turn, we also all instantly knew that this was a work. So like and maybe that's just my fault, like I'm just a mark, and so like I'm like over analyzing shit, and it's my fault for kind of killing the kayfabe element for myself. But I just feel like there could have been a more maybe interesting time to pull this like trick out of your bag type of shit. But at the same time, I also, like I said, like I get why they did it, and I have enjoyed the way that they've been building it. And so I'm curious to see how it continues to progress, and maybe I end up changing my mind and thinking that it was the right decision. We'll see. Because, yeah, this whole, like, banned Kevin Owens, like, underground Kevin Owens shit that's happening right now, that is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. So we'll see. We'll see. The last big bad blood kind of talking point that a lot of people were upset about, and justifiably so in my opinion, was the shit with Crown Jewel, man.
That,
the whole super duper champion. Yeah, you're the super duper best champion.
13K diamond, your bust down Rolly Avalanche, bro.
That goes from here to here approximately.
The super champion, bro.
You're the super duper champion. You're the best champion. The king of kings, as one Triple H might have said at one point. But, yeah, I think a lot of people are really seeing right through this as like, oh, the Saudi Arabian government wanted a special toy to make themselves feel special. And so you gave them a toy to make them feel special. What sucks is that the rest of us aren't a part of the Saudi Arabian government. We're just wrestling fans. And so we don't really care if Saudi Arabia gets a toy.
But we don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one... is excited for this. And I'll tell you what, I have a real problem with the fact that the two top belts on their separate shows, which should never really be crossing paths with one another.
Unless it's a special fucking crossover event or some shit like that.
But, like, ideally with a reason. Now they're just being thrown together
there are sometimes going to be like John Cena with both fucking World Heavyweight Champion and fucking the WWE Champion.
See, but I didn't like... as a kid, yes, that's cool because it's like, oh my god, Cena's wrestling Batista, what's going on? Like, this is cool. But now, watching wrestling, the problem I have with it is you're telling me, as a storyteller, WWE, that whoever loses here, this shit is ass. Like, how can I not look at it like that? Like, if Cody or Gunther loses, whoever takes the L, I'm looking at that belt a little sideways. Because it's like, bro, you're the worst champ. Like, you put yourself in a corner where the two top people who are supposed to be on, like, an equal level now have to unequal themselves, which inherently is gonna mean one belt is gonna matter a little more than the other. And you know what sucks? I think what they're gonna do to get out of it is do a dusty finish for both, where there's gonna be just a bunch of interference or some fucking weird screw up from the referee or something that's gonna make it to where neither win is clean, and that's gonna be the way that they kind of protect it going forward. Like, Goldberg will come out and fucking fuck over Gunther and set up their feud going forward, and
you really think that's gonna happen?
Rhea will come out and fuck over Liv to keep their shit going. It'll be some shit like that.
You think Goldberg is really gonna feud?
Yeah.
You're tripping. That fool's old, bro. That fool's almost 60.
Can I tell you some shit that I don't think you know?
60.
Can I tell you some shit I don't think you know?
60, what?
That fool is still under contract with the company, and under his current contract that he's signed to right now, he has 2 more match obligations.
That's wild.
2 of them.
There's no way you can think that.
This is like extremely well reported from a lot of reputable journalists. That he's got a couple left. Cause they brought him back not too long ago for all this Saudi Arabia shit. That's why he's here now. And so, where are we going?
Big Saudi.
Who do they love over there?
Big Goldberg.
And who did we just see all of a sudden randomly at the last PLE beefing with a dude who's going to be in one of the high profile matches?
Big Goldberg.
And you think that shit's random? Trust me, bro.
That's crazy.
When he comes out and fucks over Gunther.
He's pushing 60, bro. That's
and
crazy.
then when Rhea comes out and fucks over Liv, and that's how that shit ends, I'm saying, they're pussy over there.
Do you think they're gonna do the Tiffy time cash out?
I hope so, and I don't think so. After these last couple weeks, maybe, because they've really been pushing it. I really hope so, because I think it'd be cool that it'd be like
make that the talking point at least.
Both championships potentially, like whoever she would pin, like it would just make that match all of a sudden a cool triple threat where like, for Liv and Nia, it's still just like whatever. If they win, it's just an exhibition. They get the fake belt. But for Tiffy, it's like, bruh, if she wins that shit, it's a big deal. So that would add a lot more stakes to the match, which would be interesting. But I'm not holding out hope, though. I'm going to be honest. Like, it would be cool, but I'm not, like, anticipating it. We'll see how the shit builds over the next couple weeks with her and Nia and everything. Because, like I said, it has started to get a little more obvious that whole shit is gonna explode pretty soon.
Bro, you see how she grabs her?
Bro, no, yeah, she be bullying her. That shit's crazy.
Laughing my ass off.
That shit's disrespectful, bro. This shit's crazy, but
like, damn, chill.
So yeah, man, honestly, that was one of the big L's of the show, was the whole Crown Jewel announcement. Because another thing, I don't know if you saw people saying this, but
everybody was so quiet during that shit.
Everyone's been expecting them to finally come out with a women's mid-card title. Like, there's been a lot of
they
talk
wanna,
about
like,
that. And so they see Triple H come
confirmation
out with the belt under the fucking, like, little, like, blanket type shit.
talking about competition and shit like that. You're like, okay, he's
And
announcing
so
a fucking
everyone
belt.
was thinking, they're like, oh, this is finally going to be the women's mid-card title and shit. Like, this is going to be cool. And then he pulls out that ugly-ass fucking belt. And so, yeah, bro, I'm going to be honest. Crown Jewel is going to rely so heavily on, like, whatever else is booked. Because those first 2 matches that we have guaranteed, I'm, like, not really that interested at all, really. Like, it'll be fun wrestling. Like, like, that's the thing, is, like, when I say not interested at all, like,
our champions
I
clash.
would love to watch Gunther wrestle Cody, obviously.
Champions clash.
But it's the implications of what happens to both of the characters after the match that pisses me off. The fact that one of them has to lose pisses me off. Because it shouldn't be... You shouldn't be devaluing one of your top guys like this. It's just... And all for the sake of a fun little exhibition in Saudi Arabia just to make them happy. It's fucking...
Do you think they're going to do anything with Roman over there?
Probably, yeah. You'd have to imagine. I mean...
You haven't really announced anything, bro.
Yeah, but it's still kind of early in the whole... Like, their stories take a bit to build up. Obviously, Jimmy's trying to get Jay recruited and stuff. Maybe it's something to do with that. Like, it ends up being the 3 of them. Like, they finally convince Jay to come back, and it's Jay, Jimmy, and Roman versus Solo and the Tongans or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Some shit like that. I hope that they don't just keep running back different versions of, like, Roman tag matches because they're too pussy to book them in a solo match before, like, a big major PLE or something. Because, yeah, like, if we just keep having to watch that fool stand on the side of the ropes and kind of, like, watch someone else get pieced up by Jacob Fatu while he's just waiting to get that hot tag, it is going to be kind of lame. We'll see. But,
just me, Os.
Overall, if you had to give a from 1 to 10 rating to Bad Blood, how would you rate that shit? Just to get your general vibe. Because I low-key probably give that motherfucker like a smooth...
6.5 out of 10 for me.
I was finna say 6. Literally, I was gonna say 6. Yeah. Smooth 6 out of 10. And that's like all 6 points damn near from Punk and Drew. And then, like, also some points for The Rock.
The final boss.
The final boss. So, yeah, I'll give it 6.5, too, yeah. Because, yeah, The Rock adds a little extra something for sure. But, yeah, man, the like, middle section of that card was rough. It was rough.
It's tough.
Bad Blood. GTA. I got shooters.
You got shit,
bro. I've been wanting to talk about for a minute some of the good shit that we've been getting on Raw and SmackDown, because I feel like we've been getting some really interesting feuds and matches and stuff. And then as I was trying to get us to talk about it, that's when they made the change to 2 hours on Raw.
To Raw, yeah.
And
horrible.
So far, not great. Yeah, horrible. So far, not great, man.
Horrible,
this last week was a little better. I'll give them credit. Like, that first show was bad.
Still trying to squeeze shit in, bro.
Nah,
squeeze it so bad, bro.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. That fucking promo segment where it went from American Made doing their little shit and then not even any type of cut or nothing, just straight into Braun Breaker. Yep. That was trash. That was so trash. It was confusing. I was like, wait, are they beefing it now? Like, wait, what the fuck? And then I just realized, like, oh, they're just that pressed for time. This last week was a bit better, but still definitely struggling, though. Like, they're still struggling for sure. I feel like it's
Netflix changes that.
See, I don't know. Like, there's no time limit on Netflix. Like, it's not like they have a show coming on next on that channel.
But that's what I'm saying. They just might fucking do it 3 hours. Fuck it, why not?
So, wait, what are you saying then? Like, when they go to Netflix, it'll be better?
Go back to 3 hours.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, I do agree. Yeah, they're like, eventually they're going to have to probably switch it back. Or if anything, just dial back the commercials. Because it's not like the actual length of the show, but it's like the length of the program itself, like without commercial time and everything. But I feel like one of the bigger problems that not too many people are kind of focusing on is that when you look at like both rosters, there's a lot more like top talent on Raw than there is on SmackDown, because I feel like when they do the draft and everything, they have that built-in assumption that Raw is going to be the longer show, and now it's not, which is making it feel more rushed than SmackDown normally does, because they build SmackDown to be a 2-hour show versus now condensing a 3-hour show to a 2-hour show. So I just feel like we're in kind of a transition stage where they're figuring it out. But I do feel like they're already getting a bit better with it. Just kind of staying more focused on like what's going to be the big storyline of this episode. Like we saw a couple different looks at like Jay and Jimmy having their interactions and shit like that. The whole shit with Tiffany kind of popping out on Raw where she's not supposed to be and getting involved in everything with kind of the Judgment Day shit that's been going on. Like those kind of stories that like start earlier on in the episode and then kind of carry on throughout, like help give it more flow and shit to me. And I feel like they did a good job with that on this last show. I was also really happy to see the War Raiders come back, my boys, formerly known as the Viking Raiders. I fuck with those fools so heavy. They just fuck shit up. They fuck shit up. When they come out, I know that I'm about to see one of the craziest things I'm going to see on the whole show on that night. They're crazy. So I'm excited, and I really do hope that they get a legit push. I want to see them win these belts.
That'd be interesting.
I want to see them get a tag team run as this character. Because the whole Viking shit, let's be real, bro, like... Shit was a little corny. Shit was a little corny. So now that they could be just a more natural version of their character, I'm excited to see where that goes. And obviously, like the whole Raquel and Liv shit, the more that continues to develop, I'm interested to see where that's going.
You're just standing there staring.
I mean, bro, she's the muscle. 2 dudes with attitudes, dude. Hey, man.
Carlito has a crush on her, I guess. That's hilarious.
See, when I first saw that, I thought he was scared.
No.
Like, when he was like, looky, he dropped the shit, I thought it was because he was like, oh, like, she's scary.
No,
but then I saw everyone else's reaction. I was like, I guess I missed that. Because, like,
nervous.
It didn't, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I felt like that was him being like, ooh, she's scary. But
he got nervous, bro.
I guess so. Isn't there, like, a really significant age difference there?
I don't think so, no. I think Raquel's already like pushing 40.
Really?
Yeah. This was 45.
He's only 45?
That's why he's still
He looks terrible for his age. I'm not even trying to be fucked up. I thought that fool is like literally 10 years older than that at least.
You're crazy.
I mean... It's a solid dozen years. But they are older, though. Like, she's still in her 30s and shit. It's not too crazy. I just feel like there would have been a weird storyline if there was, like, a super significant... But, yeah, I guess it's...
Kind of makes sense right now. It's okay now.
It's not up to me, Oos, to tell everyone else how to live their life, Oos. Wild as fuck, man. It's not on me.
You're wild, bro. 12 years apart. Oh.
Anyways. Besides that, I just wanted to shout out some of the other fucking bangers we've been getting. Because, like, I definitely will, on this show and in our conversations off air, give Triple H his fair share of shit for some of the booking decisions I disagree with. And I feel like it's easy to be negative sometimes, so I wanted to just give a little credit to the fact that I'd say the last month or so, the run of like Raw and SmackDown has been really strong. The last Monster Standing shit was like
a great match,
fucking awesome. Like literally, like
at the end too,
I would say, I don't want to be too extra here, but that's a match that could be legendary damn near. Like, bro, that was insane with the ending, like you said, the ring collapsing, Seth's return, bro, that shit was insane.
Them throwing each other through tables,
dude,
rings, bro.
It was ridiculous. It was fucking ridiculous. It was awesome. Braun Breaker versus fucking Jey Uso, an actual title change happening on an episode of Raw. That like never happens anymore. A surprise championship change too, because it was booked in a way where it really felt like either could have won. I felt like it was 50-50, like dead ass flip a coin. I could have seen either winning going into it. And so like to me that's how you should book a feud though. I want to come into every feud when the match comes like, bro, like it's a toss up. You know what I mean? I feel like they did a great job with that in that feud, and it was just a really overall exciting moment to get kind of an unexpected or surprising title win on an episode of Raw. Bianca Belair and Io Sky, I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago now on SmackDown, had like just a classic women's wrestling match, like one of the best women's matches I've seen all year. One of the better just matches I've seen all year, especially without any stipulations, nothing, just a straight singles match. Like just the in-ring technical work that was on display, because like we know that Bianca's obviously like a freak athlete. She's extremely agile, but also has amazing strength. And bro, Io is like a ridiculous high flyer with every bro. They complemented each other so like it was genuinely such an entertaining match. Such an entertaining match. So that was just an absolute banger. Solo versus Cody in the cage match. That's kind of a little bit while ago, but that was another really good match. Just how often do we get fucking cage matches on just random episodes? Yeah. And if I remember correctly, that opened up the show because that was when the final boss came out and shit. And so fucking that was a super hyped up little fucking match on just a random episode of SmackDown type shit. And then there's been this whole little series that's going to be ending soon. Game 7 coming up. Carmelo Hayes and Andrade.
That's been a pretty decent feud.
And it's just been a slap after slap. Like, bro, they're both such just great in-ring talents, and it's given them...
It was a good matchup to put them together, bro.
It's been a great platform for them to display their talents with each other and, like, slowly kind of let the heat between each other bubble up over time. And now, like, these backstage brawls and stuff they're doing, like, look, like, fucking personal as hell. Like, it seems like they're really wanting to be just a better wrestler against each other. Match. I'm really, really excited for Game 7 of that shit. Bro, that's how they've been branding it. That's been like a really fun thing for me, is kind of bringing that like sports element into it, because that's a big part of Melo's brand, obviously, and so like it fits with this feud especially. Like I'm excited to see how they do the whole like Game 7 Melo shit. Like I'm expecting that to be a thing, so I'm excited to see all of that shit. Just, yeah, I just wanted to throw some...
Winner of this is going to be able to challenge for the U.S. Championship.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see how all that goes, because that'll be another interesting feud for LA Knight either way, because him and Andrade had a solid match. Him and Melo had a solid match. So I feel like it could go good either way, and could potentially even end up in some type of triple threat thing at some point if, like, know, like, who knows if someone... Like, if, let's just say Melo wins, but then Andrade still comes out and fucks him over again. Like, they'd have no choice but to just make it a triple threat at that point. So, we'll see. But just overall, wanted to say that in a time of year especially where, like, traditionally speaking, this is kind of, like, the dead time for wrestling. Yeah. Like, where we're still too far away to be hyped up for the Rumble and Mania season, but we've already passed SummerSlam and all the post-Mania hype is gone. Traditionally speaking, these are the months where, and especially when football comes back, so not as many people tune into Raw. You got people watching Monday Night Football, people on Friday nights going out and shit. It's the holidays coming up. People are more busy. Like, this is just generally the time of year, historically speaking, where WWE especially has, like...
takes a backseat.
Yeah, a little bit. And I feel like they have... I don't know if it's because they know that that's the case that they've been turning up the heat, or if it's just they really are cooking right now with the week-to-week product. But I've been really impressed with Raw and SmackDown and a lot of the matches we've been getting.
Transitioning of shows, moving shit around and shit, bro.
Yeah,
they're trying to make a statement with shit, bro.
Exactly. I agree. I do think that because they're in this kind of critical time, they know that they gotta keep the fans entertained right now. This is the last thing I have on our wrestling list here. I am scared, Luis. I'm scared.
What? Pussy ass bitch.
It is, first of all, fuck you. Fucking dick. Second of all, it is too soon. It is too goddamn soon to run it back between Jey Uso and Braun Breaker.
You think so?
I know so.
You think they're gonna give it back to Braun?
No. See, this is the problem. This is the problem. Either result sucks. I'm gonna be honest. The win for either of them isn't as significant as the loss for the other. Because if you finally put a singles title on Jey Uso after all these years, after all these months of the main event push, and you pull that shit back off of him after like 2-3 weeks, you just made that for literally mid-card Jey Uso for life. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if Braun just fucking takes another L,
that's gonna be tough. But he
took this first L in stride really well. He took it really well. Same way that he took the Sammy loss really well. Those were both results that I was worried about. And the way that his character work is just so money, he just takes it in fucking stride and keeps rolling. I don't know how many times you can have an up-and-coming superstar that you're still trying to establish as a top-level player to some extent. How many times you can have them lose the big match and expect the fans to still like, oh, that's the dog. Like, we're fucking barking for him. Like, he can't be this scary, intimidating badass if he loses all the fucking time. So you've got to, like, make a choice there. Do we fuck over the guy who we finally gave the title after a 14-year fucking career? Or do we fuck over the guy that's probably going to be working here for the next 14 years? This is a really shitty situation to put yourself in. I don't know why they wouldn't just have Braun Breaker go do some other random shit. Yeah, just go feud with a random motherfucker for a little bit. Buy some time. Like, there's nothing wrong with that in wrestling. Like, just go try and, yeah, like, he shouldn't be wrestling for a top-level title yet, but, like, maybe, yeah, getting to, like, the final of a tournament of something and losing or fucking, I don't know, just literally pick any random babyface that's cool on the Raw roster and, like, all right, they're beefing. Cool, let's just keep it moving. Like, the next month of Braun Breaker programming is scheduled. Excellent. I don't know why they instantly threw him back into the Intercontinental Championship shit. It scares me, man. Because like I'm saying, I don't see how they get out of this one. Both of them have so much to lose.
Got nothing to lose.
And if Jay wins, so what? You beat him twice. Big deal. Like, it doesn't change much for him. And if Braun wins, you only lost the title for, like, less than a month. Big deal. Like, I feel like the win doesn't even mean as much to either of them. But the loss would take away so much for both of them. That, to me, inherent... Like, you're looking at the situation and it's like, the pros are not very pro-y. But the cons are conned as fuck. So, like, should we just avoid that situation then? If the cons very much outweigh the pros, right? But I guess not, because it seems like they're teasing it pretty hard. It seems like Braun wants his belt back. I don't know, man. See, I just want to get that off my chest. Obviously, I'm like a pretty big Braun guy. This has been publicly stated many times. But that doesn't mean that I don't fuck with Jay Heavy and I want to see him drop that shit in like a month either. Like, it just is a lose-lose. It's just a lose-lose.
Fucking man.
We went from like some positive shit to some negative shit right there. I feel kind of bad. I turned heel.
That's how we feel, bruh.
But yeah, bruh. Like, as much as there has been a lot of banger content on Raw and SmackDown lately,
sometimes they're calling the shot too early now.
That doesn't mean that we might be on the horizon of something that might be a little sketchy. That's all I'm saying.
I feel it.
We'll see, bro.
It's gonna be interesting how they play it out.
I'm very curious to see.
They both been spearing each other back and forth again.
That I can guarantee is we are gonna see some spears. That I can promise. Everything else, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? It's just me, Goose.
Fucking Braun, the youngin', bruh.